Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope everyone's having a great day. Today, we'll be going over Baptiste's kit and breaking down pro player ML7's gameplay. Check out ML7 in the description below. He's absolutely amazing and you should definitely go follow him. Also, if you're interested in learning the in-depth strategies that top 500 players use in Overwatch so you can win more of your games, visit GameLeap.com. We have a special offer for you guys at the end, so make sure to tune in. Now, let's get over to Baptiste. Alrighty, so his primary fire is a triple burst hit scan. It does 25 a bullet, 75 per triple burst, and it does around 50 damage per headshot. His secondary fire is an arcing explosive projectile similar to Junkrat's but a bit faster. It has an area effect of 3 meters and it has 10 shots. Reloading either or your primary or your secondary fire reloads your entire gun. So that's also something pretty important to keep in mind. His other ability is regenerative burst. It's an AoE, has a 10-meter radius. It does 30 healing per second and it lasts up to 5 seconds for 150 overall healing. It has a pretty long cooldown with 15 seconds. His immortality field, also another ability with a long cooldown of 20 seconds. His immortality field, you throw it, has a 6-meter radius, it lasts for 8 seconds. Everything inside the immortality field cannot fall below 20% health. You can shoot the immortality field, the rotating disc above it, you can shoot it. It has 250 health and that will destroy the immortality field. And last, his amplification matrix. It creates a window in front of you. Up to 35 meters is the max range that you can cast it. All projectiles shot through this window has 100% damage amplified and 100% healing amplified. And it lasts for 8 seconds as well. So you can dish out a very high amount of healing and a very high amount of damage by shooting through this ultimate. Now, let's get into the VOD review. As the enemy team engages, he's throwing his immortality field. This is going to prevent them from dying, obviously, and if they stay inside it, they're going to be safe. You'll notice throughout this game, he's going to be repositioning himself so that he can get high ground very often. He gets his ult very quickly. It seems like you can develop your ult pretty fast on this hero. So all the projectiles that go through this window that's created with his ult does 100% more damage. Alright, so here it's playing on high ground. I think this is where you want to be. Because he can position himself, you have to, I believe you have to crouch for about a second. And then when you jump, you leap into the air pretty high. He's in this high ground. He can see the whole thing, all of his teammates. He can throw an easy immortality field. And this team doesn't die because of it. Okay, so you're probably gonna figure out that Baptiste does quite a bit of damage. He does add max damage, 25 to the body per each bullet, and about 50 to the head for each bullet. Meaning, one whole burst, 3 heads, at max damage. That's 150. That is insane. So this character rewards very good mechanical skill. That is for sure. One thing to disclose is like ML7 is a very talented player, but everyone's still kind of getting used to this. So you know, obviously don't expect the highest possible tier of a new character's play. People are still learning the hero, and it's not going to be the the most optimal performance. But either way, he's still very good. Like he's still playing this hero as if he knows what he's doing, which he does, which he shows it here just by playing. Okay, so let's talk about this use of amplification matrix. The reason it's probably suboptimal, he's in a good position right now. He can shoot, he can lob all these nades, heal his team from across the way, while also doing twice as much damage. Be careful with this because it requires a lot of mechanical skill, and not everyone has great mechanical skill, so you're probably not going to want to do this if you're not too confident in hitting your shots. A much better and safer use would probably be to use it either somewhere around the middle of your team or maybe towards the backline, depending on what DPS you have. So you might have a Hanzo or a McCree, and you can put that a little bit further in the backline. Your tanks can push up in front of the amplification matrix, while you and the heavy damage can shoot through the amplification matrix and get very good value from it. Be careful with this use. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not always going to be optimal because it depends on your mechanical skill, and that fluctuates a bit for even the best players. So I think you definitely want to stay next to your team. You don't want to flank as this character. He's staying pretty close to his Reinhardt, and when he can get the high ground next to the team, he takes it. You're probably gonna want to be taking these high ground positions on defense when you're holding a defensive position, as opposed to attacking, because the likelihoods that you can stay in that defensive spot and be safe and provide value for your team are like, it's going to be easier. It's going to be much easier for you to do that. The enemy team is coming to you, you're not going to them, so you don't have to leave this high ground eventually. Like right now he's on high ground, yes, but at some point he's going to want to drop. So with this amplification matrix, like I said, if he had dropped down and done that next to his team, more of his team would have found value from that, as opposed to just him staying in a good position and using the ult suboptimally. So you can still do quite a bit of damage when you have that amplification matrix. Like, you're on high ground and you're the only one who can really get value from that ultimate on your team. You could possibly pop off. You need to be in a good position. Your team has to be able to help you. You don't want to play too far away, and you need to have decent mechanical skill to really get value off of this ultimate. Otherwise, if you're not too confident in your mechanical skill, then you're much better off just using it in front of your team. So Baptiste does a moderate amount of damage, meaning if he's on high ground, you do not want to leave him alone to do whatever he wants. You want to make sure that you're pressuring him out, because he will see the most value when he is being played on high ground. So get a Widow, get a Hanzo, a McCree, anything with long range, or maybe a Genji, something that can contest them and prevent him from destroying, because he does see a ton more value when he's playing on high ground. So if you want to lob these nades up into the air, you look directly above yourself and then you shoot. It should take around 7-ish seconds for them to drop down. Remember, you have to be looking extremely up. If you want to reload, you can shoot maybe 1 or 2 up. With that, you can reload and still dish out healing at the same time. But by the same token, it's only valuable if your team isn't taking damage quite yet, but they're going to be taking damage. So if you do want to shoot your projectiles upwards and get the healing for it later, you want to make sure that your team are not taking damage at that point. So he's in a fight. His Rhine is end-tied. You know what he does? Tosses an immortality field, because you can't die and you're invincible. Remember, when your team is low, toss that boy down. See, look, he's constantly trying to get high ground, right? And you don't necessarily have to drop from the high ground unless you're being pressured. But when you notice that there isn't really much that can get to you, you can very well take advantage of that as Baptiste. Make sure you get the high ground. This allows you to see everything much more clearly, and you can also target who you want to target. So when you're on this high ground, because your balls can go through some people that are full HP, like his Reinhardt is all the way in front. Let's say I want to heal my Reinhardt, and I can't do that too easily, because maybe my Zarya or my Zen, maybe they're taking damage and they're in front of my way, but they're not really going to die. They're not that much in danger, and I need to save my Reinhardt, but they're blocking away. I can get on high ground and get an easier position so I can hit easier shots on this Reinhardt and just avoid that whole situation in general. This way you can heal people that you want to heal. You can prioritize better and land your shots much easier. Okay, so we're going to do a quick little recap. Step 1. Know when to heal and know when to do damage. You don't always need to heal, and you for certainly do not always need to do damage. If you're an Ana player, you'll probably transition into this hero relatively well if you decide to play him. Step 2. Know when to use high ground. High ground is the best ground. You get the most angles and arguably the most safety. It also really depends on what kind of composition they're running. The biggest concern that you are going to face on high ground is being dived and being poked by long-range damage dealers. Just be cautious of that. Step 3. Ability usage. You use Immortality Field when your team is going to be very, very low. Gravitons are good examples. Genji ults are pretty good examples. Anytime your team is critical or going to be critical, drop in Immortality Field. Never use it when your team is full health. That does not get the maximum value for this Very powerful ability. Your other ability, you can use that much more sparingly. It's almost like an amp heal for like Lucio. 30 health per second. It lasts for 5 seconds, which equals up to 150 health. You can use that a bit more sparingly, but yeah. And the last one, amplification matrix. If you're going to use it on high ground, make sure you have good mechanical skill. You can also heal your team with that and have a ton of use as well. It doesn't take as much mechanical skill doing the healing as it would be with you doing damage. Each healing grenade does 60, and you can use the amplification matrix on high ground to do 120 healing per grenade, which is absolutely insane. And that lasts for 8 seconds, so you can dish out a lot of healing in that short span of time. But ideally, I'd say you probably want to use it towards the bulk of your team, where the majority of your teammates are. You just throw it in the middle or maybe near the back line if you have long range DPS, and you can see a pretty decent amount of value from that. And yeah, alright guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe, and I've been XSoless, and I'm out. Peace.